Chairman, thank you much for holding this important meeting. It's a threat that unfortunately is real, and I appreciate the experts being here to help us mitigate that threat or take it on firsthand. There's an old saying, water is life, and this is exactly what we're talking about today. As we look at today's world, whoever controls water infrastructure can literally threaten public health, threaten economic security, and of course, even national security. And when Americans turn on the tap, they just want clean water. And what we are trying to handle in these increasing attacks is just a common sense way to use the existing resources with the best ROI given this threat. In Florida, we understand this reality very clearly. Along the Space Coast, we rely on reliable drinking water and wastewater systems every day, and we know that disruption is changing lives every day, and it can also disrupt not just, of course, households, but hospitals, launch facilities, tourism, you name it. Given that reality, these remote access systems, which are increasingly antiquated, as you all mentioned, each of you, what is a typical cost for an individual unit? I mean, literally, I think as some of the other members have talked about today, there are thousands of these individual units, and the cost could be astronomical. What is a typical cost for a mid-sized county or city water resource to get the necessary defensive mechanisms in place to afford and take away some of these threats? Mr. Corman, if you had that answer, that'd be great.
It can vary, but because they're so cash-strapped, they tend to go to the cheapest ones. And with a slight pivot here, this is a very important point that none of us have made yet. Most of the successful compromises from Volt Typhoon into U.S. water have been through known edge devices like cheap routers, TP-Link routers owned and manufactured in China, or even security remote access technologies, which have CISA, known exploited vulnerabilities associated with them. So if we look at how China's been getting in, it's often through these remote access tools themselves. So a race to the bottom, just like we don't put
But again, we deal with big numbers all the time. Is there a number that you say if we put in 50,000, is it 100,000, is it $1 million? Just give us a ballpark, just so we get a feel for how many. Everyone's talking about grants, but what's the real price tag? And so when we talk, I mean, one of the things we found success in when I was in the state legislatures, you'd have a public-private partnership or local, state, federal dollars. I mean, what kind of dollars are we talking about?
So New Hampshire has a $50,000 per facility grant to do a managed firewall for the first 2 to 3 years, and then you have to pick up the costs afterwards. So that's inclusive of managing it for 2 to 3 years, about $50K.
And to build on that same idea, where have we seen successes where some of these water utilities have come together? Have they pooled their resources to try to handle different regions, different states, to bring down the cost by just sharing in these meeting these challenges together? Can anyone answer that?
We have some friends in the cyber civil defense community that are looking at doing some regional, small, medium, rural managed security services things.
But that's not been done to this point?
The margins are pretty terrible, so when we often ask the big ones to do so, they look at it, they want to do it, and then they give up on it.
Okay. And then given the increasing activity from Iran, China, you name it, as a target critical infrastructure, what are the ones that they're looking at most closely? Are these at military facilities? Are they at public facilities? Are they at hospitals? What's the biggest threat in your mind?
There are really two forks to the Volt Typhoon. Initially, they were looking at military bases, the ability to degrade and delay our force mobilization. Even a day or two could advantage their advance on Taiwan. Mm-hmm. But the second wave was non-combatant civilian infrastructure, like the 10,000-person town in Littleton, Massachusetts. And the purpose of that leg was to sow chaos on civilian infrastructure to undermine public support for our intervention. Okay. So it's both. Thank you.
And Ms. Wright, if I could, look, you guys are obviously the experts. I know you should give your opinion. If you could do one thing, the one thing to get the most ROI for whatever dollars we put forth from taxpayers, what's the one thing you would do in order to try to mitigate this threat?
Congressman, thank you for that very important question. If I had one thing, I would work with water utilities to understand the most serious consequences of a cyber attack and engineer them out. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Hinchman, if you have that same question, please.
As a matter of a Band-Aid, I would bulk up the technical advisory program to get more boots on the ground to local facilities that otherwise don't have the resources to get help. It's a bit of a Band-Aid, but it would help.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chairman, again, thanks for taking this on. It's the unfortunate reality what we're facing today with these not only foreign threats, but of course other deviant actors. It's very much appreciated. My only suggestion is we're really successful when we get everyone to have some skin in the game. It shouldn't be just a federal program. And I think that one of the things I see coming out of this is it's pretty scary that they're not working in concert with each other. And I hope that this hearing stimulates some action, because this is a threat that's real, and we should figure out ways that so smaller communities can work together and solve this problem. So thanks again, Mr. Chairman, and I'll yield back.